Jamie from Creations Misfit, and today I'm going to show you how to make this slouchy beanie. Now, we have two sizes. This one is a little bit bigger, and I'm going to show you I'm going to put some pictures up right now to show you how they kind of fit on the mannequin and what they look like. Now, the mannequin head is supposed to be an adult head, but it is a little bit smaller, so this won't be as bulky on her. But these are what the two different hats look like. So for these two, I used Lion Brand Heartland yarn, which is a size 4 yarn, and there's 251 yards in here. I used almost all of it, so I would say between 230 and 240 yards of size 4 yarn is what you'd need for this project. And I'm going to use this pink today, and this is, I think it's the Value Twist brand from Joann Fabrics. And you will need two different size hooks. So if you're going to make the more slouchy hat, the larger one like this, you will use a 6mm hook and a 5mm hook. And if you're going to make the smaller version, which is still kind of slouchy, just not as baggy like the black one, then you will need a size 4.5mm hook and a 5.5mm hook. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do the slouchy one, so I'm going to start with my 5mm hook. If you're doing the less slouchy, start with your 4.5mm. So while I get my yarn here, I just want to put a disclaimer, like I have to in all my videos recently. I know that I sound nasally, and it's because I have really bad sinuses, and I apologize. I know it's annoying. I've had some really nasty comments about it recently, so that's why I have to say something on all my videos. But I am going to put the whole pattern up in writing on the video, so you can just mute me or turn the volume off if it's too annoying for you, and just follow along with the written pattern. Okay, so to start, we are going to do a slip knot, and then we're going to chain up 8. And the pattern is the same for both hats from here on out. The only difference is the hook size. Okay, so just go ahead and chain 8. And then we are going to half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So not this first one here, but go ahead and half double crochet in the second chain. And then in every chain across. So you should end up with 7 half double crochets because we skipped that very first chain. Okay, and when you get to the end here, we're going to chain up 1 and turn our work. And now this is going to be the repeat we're starting with the brim, by the way. So this next row here is going to be the repeat row. This is row 2. And for the first stitch, we're going to do a regular half double crochet. And then in the next 5 stitches, we're going to do a half double crochet in just the back loop only. Okay, so if you don't know about front and back loops, here's where you would normally go through both loops for a regular stitch. Here's the front loop, here's the back loop. We're just going to pick up the back loop only. This leaves a nice ribbing, and just do a regular half double crochet from there. So do the center 5 stitches in the back loop. And then the very last stitch, we're going to do a regular half double crochet again. So you're going to pick up both loops. And the reason I do a regular in the front, or the very first stitch and the very last, is because when we put it just makes for a nicer finish. I'll show you the difference. So for this one, I just did all back loops, and you can kind of see how there's these stitches down here that look big. And then when we put the brim together, it's just harder to go into the stitches there. And then here is the one where I did the did it how we are doing it now, with the full stitch on the ends, and it just is a cleaner look. So that's why, if you're wondering. All right, so then we're going to chain up one and turn, and we're going to do this same thing going forward from here. So half double crochet in the very first one, a regular half double crochet, and then in the next 5, we're going to do half double crochets in just the back loop only. And then in the very last stitch, a regular half double crochet through both loops again. And then chain up one and turn. So this is going to be our repeat for our entire brim. Now everybody's probably going to have a different number, and that's okay. For mine, I think I did about 20 inches for an adult hat. So if you're doing an adult beanie, you want it to be about between 19 and 21 inches in length. And you can just measure that around your head or whoever's head you're making it for to make sure that it's a good size. Remember, this will stretch, okay? And then if you're doing a child size, I usually do between like 15 and 17 inches in length. So you're just going to keep doing this as long as you need. And I did, with the other 2 hats, I did about, I think for the bulky hat I did 46 because I had the bigger hook, and then I did 51 rows for the less bulky hat with the smaller hook. But yours will vary, and that's fine. It's no big deal. But I would just keep track of how many rows you're doing, just so you kind of know. Okay, so go ahead and do your rows up until about 20 inches for an adult hat. And then when you're finished, we will come back together to finish our brim. Okay, welcome back. So I did my rows and I ended up with 54. And like I said, however many you end up with is fine. It's no big deal. So from here, we're going to close up our brim. So you're going to fold your brim up like this, and we're going to slip stitch across here. So I like to just take my hook out, insert it on this side, and pull this loop through. You can do it any way you'd like. This is just how I do it. And then we're going to grab both sides and slip stitch across. So grab the one from this side and the stitch from this side and pull through and slip stitch across. And you should have 7 slip stitches. Now this side is the chains that we started with, so it might be a little bit harder to see them. It's not a full stitch, but it should be pretty simple to get through. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, and then we're going to turn and start working in rounds around the hat now. So you're going to chain up 1, and then we're going to switch hooks. So if you are doing the bulkier hat like myself, then you're going to switch from your 5 to your 6. And if you're doing the less bulky hat, you're going to switch from your 4.5 to your 5.5. All right, and from here, if you have stitch markers, you might want to pull those out. You can pause the video and grab a few. I'm going to use 3. And if you don't have stitch markers, that's okay. You can just use a needle or a piece of yarn or something like that if you'd like. So I ended up with 54 stitches, like I said, but for this next round, we need 84 stitches. And that's going to make the hat bulky. So what I like to do is put a stitch marker in about halfway around. This just makes it easier to see how many stitches I need to get 84, you know, because I'm going to be adding 30 stitches. And then I do that, I split it into 4s. So from here to here, I split that about evenly. It's okay if you're off a little bit. And you can just split it in half if you want to, but I find that 4s are a little bit easier for me. So from here, now you know that you need to get 21 stitches in each corner of your hat to make 84 stitches. Or if you just split it in half, then you need to get 42 stitches on this half and 42 stitches on that half. I hope that makes sense. All right, so we're just going to do single crochets this round. And like I said, I need to get 21 and this is for everybody, no matter how many rounds you have from your brim, everybody has to do 21, 21, 21, 21 if you split it into fours, or 42 and 42 if you split it in half, okay? Because we all need to get 84 from here. So you may have to go into a couple stitches twice. So that's what I'm going to do. So just go ahead and single crochet around, and I'm going to do my 84 here. Just go into the top of the stitches here. I'm going to do 2 in this first one. And yeah, I'm just going to grab these up and go around and do my 84. So I will meet you back after you have done 84 single crochets around. All right, I did my 84 single crochets, and we're going to slip stitch back to the very first single crochet. So just go ahead and do a slip stitch there. And your projects should kind of fan out a little bit here because we did more stitches than what we had to start with. Okay, so moving on, for rounds 2 and 3, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to chain up 1, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So you should have 84 single crochets at the end of round 2 and 84 at the end of round 3. So go ahead and do those 2 rounds, and I'll meet you back for round 4. All right, at the end of round 3, you're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet again and chain up 1. So this is what we should have, something like that. And moving on to round 4, we're going to do a half double crochet, but we're going to do it in just the front loop only. So before, for this brim, we did the back loop, but for this, we're going to do the front loop. And you need to get into that very first one that your chain is in, because the chain doesn't count as a stitch. So we're going to yarn over and just go through, you can see here, just the front loop. Maybe. There we go. Just the front loop, and then finish your half double crochet. All right, and you're going to do that all the way around for all 84 stitches. Okay, it will get quicker as you go. You'll be able to pull up that front stitch pretty easily, or front loop. Okay, so go ahead and finish round 4, just 1 round of front loop half double crochet, and I will see you back. At the end of round 4 here, we're going to slip stitch into our very first half double crochet and chain 1. All right, so for rows 5, 6, or rounds 5, 6, and 7, we're going to do this the same thing for each of those 3 rows. We're going to do a half double crochet, but this time we're going to go in the 3rd loop. So if you're unfamiliar with that, we have the front and the back loop, like we've been working in throughout this project, and then there's a 3rd loop for a half double crochet. Let me get my needle to show you. So here's the normal stitch that we would go in. Here's the front loop, here's the back loop, and then if you turn, there's a loop in the back, which is the 3rd loop, and it kind of sticks out, and as you go around, you'll be able to pick it up pretty easily, because if you turn your work, this kind of looks like the stitch here. You'll just go into that 3rd loop, and that leaves a really nice ridge because it pushes out the front and the back loop. So we're going to just do regular half double crochets, but you're going to pick up that 3rd loop. And the first one might be kind of hard to see, but it's right here. And then here's the second one, here's the 3rd one. So hopefully you can get that. And once you get going, it goes pretty quick. This is not my favorite hook to use, but so we're just going to, whoops. I really like clover hooks, and I don't have a 6mm in clover. They're just so smooth. Okay, so we're just going to half double crochet in the 3rd loop all the way around. This is round 5, and we're going to do that for 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so do all 3 of your rounds, 3rd loop. If you need extra help with this, I do have a a different tutorial just for the third loop crochet, and I will put it in the description box. You can head down there and if you need a little extra time with it. But otherwise, finish up rounds 5, 6, and 7, and then we'll meet back. This beanie has a lot of texture to it, so that's why we have to do more than just go into the regular stitches. All right, so I'll see you after round 7. All right, I'm back after round 5. I just wanted to point something out. I just wanted to remind you guys that you have to, when you get to the end, that you're going to slip stitch into that first half double and then chain up 1 before your next round. I wanted to make sure you do that. And then also I wanted to show you what it should be looking like. So these should be popped out. We should have what looks like 2 rows so far of like a braid stitch or a knit stitch. Hopefully you can see that. And if they're not coming out like that, it probably means you're working in the back loop and not the third loop. So you want to make sure that you're in that third loop so that this comes out. I don't know if you can see the texture as much. I'm kind of losing light here, but these should be popped out more, where you can see these are just kind of flat. All right, so that's it. So I finished up round 5. I'm going to do 6 and 7 then, and I'll see you back soon. I'm just coming around to the end of round 7 here, and I wanted to say that you might want to count your stitches too. Make sure that you have 84 every round, because when you're working in the round, if you're not comfortable with it, if you're kind of a newer beginner, or even if you've been crocheting for years, sometimes it's real easy to pick up or drop an extra stitch at the beginning. So make sure that you have 84 all the way around. Okay, and we got to the end of round 7, and this is what we should have. Something that looks like this. And round 8, we're going to chain 1 and then go into the third loop again, but this time we're just going to do a single crochet in the third loop. So instead of doing a half double, we're just going to do a single crochet. So pick up that very first one. Oops. And just single crochet around all 84 stitches in the third loop, not the back loop, the third loop. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 8, and I'll meet you at the end. Coming up to the end of round 8 here, slip stitch into your first single crochet, and then we're going to chain up 2. Okay, so moving right along, we're going to start round 9. And for this round, you were just going to do double crochets in every single stitch around. Just a regular double crochet through both pieces of the stitch. You don't have to worry about front or back loop. Just regular double crochet all the way around for 84 stitches. All right, this is round 9. So finish up 9, and I will see you for 10. All right, at the end of round 9, slip stitch to your first double crochet and chain 1. And for this round, round 10, we're going to do, we're going to start with a single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to do a front post double crochet. So if you don't know about front post, I do have a video for it, tutorial. If you need more time, I'll put that in the description box below as well. But it's just a regular double crochet, but we're going to go around the post here instead of through the stitch, we're going to go around the post. So we just went into this first stitch for our single crochet. So now we have to go around the next post, and we're going to do a double crochet. So you yarn over, go underneath the post, and then just do your double crochet. Yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then in the next stitch, which sometimes can be hidden behind the post that you just went to, just make sure it's the very next stitch. We're going to do a single crochet, and that's going to be our pattern all the way around. Single crochet, and then a front post double crochet. All right, so we're skipping this post because we just did a single crochet there. We go into the next one and do our double crochet around the post. And the next one is a single crochet, and then the next one is this post. Okay, you can tell it's going to be every other post. We do our double crochet, front post double crochet. and then single into the stitch and double around the post. Single, front post, double. And you'll be able to start seeing how those are sticking out. So it'll be kind of easy to find where you're supposed to go. So go ahead and do that all the way around, 84 stitches, single crochet, front post, double crochet. And I'll see you back for round 11. At the end of round 10 here, you should end up with I just did a single crochet there, you should end up with a front post double crochet for the 84th stitch. And then make sure that you go into the very first single crochet stitch for a slip stitch and chain up one. And then for round 11, we're going to do the exact same thing, but I just wanted to show it to you because it's a little different now that we have a front post. So for the first stitch, you do a single crochet. Oops, it's a little loopy. Single crochet for the first stitch. And then we're going to go around that post that we just made with for our double crochet. So you just go under the post here that we already made from the last round. Make sure you don't go down too far because that's the round before. So just go right here and do your double crochet and then single crochet and then front post around the post again. Front post double. Single and front post double. Single, front post double, all the way around. So this is round 11, and I will meet you after this round. At the end of round 11, make sure you go into the very first single crochet and slip stitch to join, and then chain one. All right, so for round 12, it's a really simple round. We're just going to single crochet all the way around. So 84 single crochets. Make sure you get into that very first one there where your chain is, and then just single crochet normally all the way around through every single stitch. And I will see you after round 12. At the end of round 12, slip stitch to the first single crochet and chain up one. And this is what we should have so far. This is what our hat should look like. Something similar to this. Now don't worry if it looks like it's getting too wide here. I'm going to put a picture. We never decrease for this hat because we cinch the whole top. I'm going to put a picture in right here that shows what the hat looks like before we cinch it, so you can see it just kind of keeps going up like this. All right, so don't worry if it looks like, oh, it's going to be too wide or something. It'll be fine. I am losing natural light here because it's like 4:30 and it's getting dark, so I can see all the shadow here. So I'm going to come back and finish this tomorrow, and I will see you guys for round 13 soon. Okay, new day for me here, and we are just going to get right back into round 13. So from here, we're going to be just kind of repeating some of the rounds we've done already. So for round 13, we're going to do a half double crochet in the front loop only. So we've chained up one, and if you haven't, make sure you do that. Chain up one, and then we're going to do a half double crochet in just the front loop only again. We're going to do that all the way around for 84 stitches. Okay, so round 13, half double crochet, front loop only, and I'll see you back soon. At the end of round 13, we're going to slip stitch to the very first half double crochet and chain up one. So for rounds 14 and 15, we're going to do the same thing. Not that we just did, but for 14 and 15, we're going to half double crochet in that third loop again. So make sure that you don't get these first two, but you go to the back and get the third loop back here so that we will get this nice ribbing effect again. All right, so this is round 14. We're going to do this for round 14, and we're going to do this for round 15. and then I will see you back for round 16. And at the end of round 15, we will slip stitch and chain 1. So for round 16, we are going to do a third loop again, but we're just going to do the single crochet this time. So single crochet in the third loop all the way around for 84 stitches. And this is round 16. I will meet you back in a few. And at the end of round 16, go ahead and slip stitch to the first stitch and chain up 2. So for what round are we in? 17, we're going to do double crochets all the way around, just in the regular stitch. So 84 double crochets all the way around. I know this is kind of a longer project. I like to do shorter projects. I have hats that take me 45 minutes or, you know, a half hour. Some of them take an hour, but I like to work with bulky yarn and just kind of get things done quickly. I don't know why. I mean, I don't mind. I've made blankets that have taken 70 hours, so I don't mind doing that. But for these kind of projects, I usually like to do something quicker. But I really like this hat. My aunt had sent me a picture of a knit hat and asked if I could make it for her. And I said, well, I don't knit, but I could try to recreate something similar in crochet. So that's what this hat has become. So I think I'm going to name it the Slouchy Robin hat after my Aunt Robin. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, yeah, normally I don't do like a hat that would take this long. But I think this one's worth it. And because it's bulky, of course, it takes a little bit longer too. And there's so much definition in it. So I hope that everybody's doing okay sticking with it. I do know it's a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it. And hopefully you're enjoying yourself. So after this round, I will meet you back. And when we get back to the beginning, we're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet and chain up 1. And now for rows 18 and 19, we're going to go back and do our single crochet, front post, double crochet. So we go and do a single into the very first stitch, and then a front post double crochet into the second stitch. Okay, single into the stitch, and then make sure we went into this one, so we're going to skip this one because we did our single there, and go around the next post to do our double crochet. Okay, so single, front post double, single, front post double, and you're going to do that around for this row, or for this round, and for the next round. So 18 and 19 both have the same pattern. So I will see you after those 2 rows. And at the end of round 19, make sure that you end with a front post double crochet. And then slip stitch into the first single crochet. And here is what our hat should be looking like. And we're going to move on to round 20. So chain 1. And round 20 is very easy. It's just a single crochet in every stitch around, a regular single crochet in every stitch around for 84 stitches. And I will see you back shortly. Let's close out round 20 with a slip stitch to the first single crochet and chain 1. We're getting closer to the end. So for round 21, we're going to do a half double crochet in the front loop only again. So half double crochet in just the front loop all the way around for 84 stitches. This is round 21. I'll see you shortly. And we'll finish 21 with slip stitch. If I can get in there. What the heck? A tight stitch here. Alright, slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, for rounds 22 and 23, we're going to do half double crochet in the 3rd loop again. So just 1 half double crochet in that very back 3rd loop all the way around for 2 rounds, 22 and 23. I promise we're almost done. We have 1 round after these 2, and then we'll do the 4 rounds for the cinching of the top of the hat. All right, so half double crochet in the 3rd loop for 2 rounds, and we'll meet back. The end of round 23, we are going to slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, so for round 24, we just have an easy round. We're just going to do a single crochet in every stitch around, just in the regular stitch, not in the 3rd loop. So regular single crochet all the way around for 84 stitches. And then after this, we just have a couple of or a few easy rounds to do the cinching of the top of the hat. So I just want to say thank you so much for sticking with me for this and for making the pattern. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you'd like to subscribe and like this video. I also like to hear comments about how the pattern worked for you, or what yarns you used, what colors, who you made it for, things like that. You could tell me where you're from. I like to hear some feedback and some interaction with everybody that watches, or anybody that watches my videos. And I do have a lot of other patterns on my channel, so if you'd like to, this is, like I said, one of the longer hat patterns. I have a lot of easier and quicker patterns on here. I also have stitch videos, all kinds of things. So if you'd like to take a look, I would love that. And if you have any suggestions of patterns you'd like to see me do, you can leave those in the comments as well. And if you do make this, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I am at Creations Misfit, and I would love to see what you made. If you're on Instagram, you can tag me in the post if you post it, or send it to me in a direct message, and I'd be happy to see that. So I'm going to finish this up off of the camera, and I will see you back shortly. And at the end of round 24, slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, we have 4 rounds left, but they're really easy. We're just going to do a half double crochet in every stitch around. So for rounds 25, 26, 27, and 28, oh, I lost my nail polish, I just saw. We're going to do a half double crochet in every stitch around, just a regular half double crochet in each stitch around. And this is going, these last 4 rows is going to be the part that we cinch together for the top of the hat. So go ahead and finish your last 4 rounds, but don't tie off, because we're going to need that, we're going to need our yarn to stay on our hook for the cinching part. So go ahead and finish the next 4 rounds, half double crochet all the way around, and then I will see you to finish up the hat. Okay, finally finished here. At the end of round 28, we're going to slip stitch there and just leave it. So to do the top of the, I mean, this is what your hat should be looking like. It's okay if it's flared out. It should be doing that. Here's the front side. Okay, so the top of the hat comes together bunched up like this. Like, here, let me see if you can see a little bit better on this brown one. So it comes together like a really cute bunched up top like that. So in order to do that, we are going to, normally I do like I go in and out of the stitches, like if we do decrease on a hat or something like that to cinch it up, but this way is a little bit different. So what you're going to do is we're going to insert our hook halfway across. So just find, it doesn't have to be exact, just find about halfway across and insert your hook. And then we're going to pull through and do a slip stitch. Okay, oops. Yeah, slip stitch there. So you have 2 open sides here. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to put our hook through about halfway through. Just find about halfway. It doesn't have to be perfect. And slip stitch there. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. So find about halfway through. Insert your hook. And do a slip stitch. So the top should look, trying to get it here, something like this. We should have about, or we should have 4 sides open here now. And we're just going to do that same thing in each of these 4 pieces now. So it doesn't really matter where you start. Just go through one side, or choose one side here and go about halfway through and slip stitch. Okay, and then that makes 2 little ones, and then go to the next, do your slip stitches through all 4. Here's the next one. And then the last one here. And now you'll see that it is scrunched up. You can either stop here and just take your sewing needle and kind of go around to fill in these gaps. I like to go through each of these 8 and do the same thing again, just because they're still kind of holy in there. So I'm going to do that for mine. I'm going to go through each of these 8, just like we did before. Go through here, and it will just close it up a little bit more. So I'm going to do that off camera. You can do your 8 if you want, or you can sew in, and then I'll show you how I finish off. Okay, once I'm done going through all of those, I just do a slip or a chain, and then I cut a long piece and pull it through. And you can still see there's still some kind of like holy stuff going on up here. Not everything's closed up, so I'm just going to thread my needle. And then I'm going to just close up the top by going through from one side to the other, just back and forth wherever I see some holes there. Just kind of close it up. Or you could go around if it looks like, if you like to do that, that's fine. However you like to close up the top. Okay, this is looking pretty good. So once I'm done with that, I just, since this is the outside of the hat, I'm gonna, sorry, I'm just gonna go through one more. All right, and then I'm gonna put my needle through and pull it up through the middle here so that I can tie in my ends on the inside of the hat. So I'm just gonna go around a little bit on the inside here, back and forth, up and down, a couple different ways, just to secure it. And then when I feel like it's secured, I'll go through a stitch and tie a knot. And I do that a couple times just to be sure that it's not going to come apart. And then you can just cut your yarn and and we are done. We've made our hat. So this is how the top ends up looking. Nice little scrunched up top. And here is the bulky hat. Okay, so thank you so much again for sticking with the tutorial. I hope that you love the hat, and yeah, please like the video, comment, and leave any suggestions below, and I hope to see you again soon in the next video. Have a great day.